Hey guys, welcome to another commentary brought to you by Firexfred. That's me, Firexfred. I'm actually just so happy. I am now commentating again, at least a couple of matches so far in my career. I took a little bit of a break, even though, I hadn't done much before, but I did take a little bit of a break. But now I'm back, and I have here for you a game between MouzMana. I'm actually going to bring up this fancy name thing. Here we go. MouzMana versus aTnDarKFoRcE. I don't even have to be over their base telling you their name here in this little bitty thing. Now it's up here in the fancy colors and everything as a yellow Protoss. We see by that Protoss symbol up there. And the blue Zerg is aTnDarKFoRcE up here spawning in the top. This is Shattered Temple. It's a newish ladder map. Actually, this is not Shattered Temple. This is Lost Temple. Shattered Temple has this weird this isn't actually an island. It's able to be gotten to by way of destructible rocks. That was a very weird way to phrase that, but I'm actually okay with it. I think it makes perfect grammatical sense. I think it was actually very pleasant to listen to. I find myself very pleasant to listen to, in fact, all the time, and so should you. But we do see a gateway coming down here. Let's take a look at the production tab. Very standard stuff. That extractor first coming out for Darkforce, and the spawning pool does go down on 14, so a very standard build coming out. He's going to be able to get out speed very quickly. He's going to be able to get out enough Zerglings to kill any pylon that should come down here from MouzMana, and he's going to be able to expand at a very consistent time. That's one thing about this build. You can pretty much guarantee the time that you're going to the time at which you're going to expand. And that is something that's very nice to have if you really want to crank out a build that is very precise. You're always going to be guaranteed to get this hatchery down at the same time, and that is something that's just very nice. A little bit about the players though. aTnDarKFoRcE, he is a German Zerg player. Not a lot of Zerg players over there in Europe. Not a lot that you think of anyway. I personally think of Darkforce as one, Morrow as the other one, and really not a lot of other ones. Ret, of course. Ret is a very good Zerg. He has been living in Korea for a little while though. I think he's back in Europe currently though, so he can be counted as a European Zerg, I suppose. Of course, being from the Netherlands, Morrow from Sweden, and Darkforce from Germany. So, but just not a lot of Zerg players coming out there from Europe. MouzMana, also a European player. He is Polish though, and obviously not a Zerg player. A very good Protoss player, known very well for his achievements at the DreamHack. One of the most recent DreamHack, where he played his teammate MouzMana in the final. That must have been quite the game to cast between Mana and Nama. It's actually so ridiculous. I get so confused between Zerglings and Zealots, and that is just basically just like one letter the same. Not even, they don't even sound similar, but Mana and Nama, like, that's just ridiculous. Zergling coming in here trying to be a hero, but he is actually not a hero, and he will die a loser's death. That is a lot of blood for that Zergling, and it's sad, really. It's the end of that Zergling story. Taking a moment of silence for him. And a couple of queens are coming out now. He did see that it was a stalker, or at least he should have known that it was a stalker. He's going to come out here just to confirm that. He's going to know now that there was a stalker out, and that might lead him to believe that it's going to be some sort of pressure, as we usually do see a stalker come out with any sort of pressure builds, and usually a sentry first out for any sort of expand builds. It looks like this is going to be an expand build though, just the 3 gates down for MouzMana. A little bit of a drone transfer, probably going to come out. Yep, a little bit of a drone transfer there. Pretty much a perfect amount. He's got the full saturation here now. 16 workers on these 8 mineral patches. That makes for 2 each and very full saturation. And we see he's rallied over this too. I really like that. Being very aware of your drones and your drone saturation is something that, if you have the APM for it, it is something very good to do, as it's going to help you out later on. And keeping on top of his macro pretty well. You see these queens very low on energy, especially this one. It's actually really annoying. This animation completes, but you have to wait a second. If you're really perfectly on top of your mac— whoa, a little bit of a push coming out here, and Zergling's coming out, going to take out a stalker and a couple of zealots. This is actually huge for Darkforce. This is something that you absolutely want to do as a Zerg player, and he actually does not, he's not able to put down his expansion at this point, even though that's just 3 Zerglings. It scared him enough to not be able to put down that expansion just for a little bit longer. And you have to absolutely punish your Protoss buddies for, not even your buddies, your friends, your enemies I should say. If they push out at all, you're really going to want to have enough Zerglings out there to punish them for pushing out. And just forcing them to stay back and not active for a little bit longer. We do see that that hallucination was researched. I believe, yes, the hallucination was researched. Now I see Burrow coming down for Darkforce. And still staying very, very well on top of his macro. Look at the Queen energy. That is beautiful to my eyes. Beautiful to every part of my being. I love, 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 love good macro from Zerg players coming out now. And now we see the Forge coming down for Mana. He's going to be able to put down a couple of cannons. Be a little bit extra safe now. But we do see that the lair is already complete, obviously, as the Burrow is coming down already for Darkforce. So a pretty early lair. Not too far are we into the game. If any sort of push had happened, it would have probably happened by now, and he knows that this little push could come out, so he's getting a couple of roaches out to deal with it, and this Burrow is going to be done probably in time. This Overlord coming in, this Overseer I should say, coming in, seeing absolutely everything. He sees the 3 gates, sees the expansion is done, and probably going to get a couple of roaches. What are these guys doing? Oh, they were trying to take out these destructible rocks, but of course they have to be pulled back so that they don't die to this force right here. 9 roaches going to be able to pop out, and this was a Hydralisk den, I believe, but that was cancelled. Come on, Darkforce, stay on top of your macro. Come on, stay on top of your macro. There you go. That's the worst when your Queen just comes and chases after. Actually, he wants him to do that. But it's the worst when there's just a hallucinated something and your Queen just runs across the map as if she can actually catch it. She's too slow and she needs to learn her own speed. It is actually silly that she does that every time. She knows she's not going to catch it. It's crazy. But anyway, we see some nice creep spread coming out here. Actually, a hallucinated Phoenix to catch this Overseer. That's kind of beautiful play. Just a little bit of something. Just using a tiny bit of Sentry energy to actually be able to take away most vision and most vision for Darkforce. He's going to be playing a little bit more in the dark. And now an Observer actually coming out for MouzMana. So, looks like Mana is just going to be able to, as he puts up this robotics bay, he's going to be able to just get a very nice Protoss ball and be able to deal with pretty much anything that Darkforce does. If he goes for any sort of ground units, as Colossi are going to be very good against roaches, actually ridiculous against Hydralisks. Hydralisks do just die so quickly. Now Hydralisk Den is actually back down. Man, I'm really not staying on top of anything. I need to get practice on this casting again. It is hard to come back to. I like this extra Queen out here, just spreading creep tumors everywhere on the map, taking this gold expansion now. I'd like to see him expand again very soon, actually, as Mana cannot push out right now, and actually 5 mutas coming out right now, so that's a little bit weird, as well as the Flyer Attack 1. We don't see that a lot against Protoss, but it can be very effective for just killing off a couple of drones here and there, harassing a little bit. Another expansion does go down because aTnDarKFoRcE and I are just about the same skill level, I'd have to say. Oh, and some really nice creep spread coming down here, actually jumping down the ledge. I like that. I always forget that you can actually do that. You can jump a ledge with a creep tumor. The creep doesn't actually spread there itself, it stops here at the edge, but you can jump creep tumors down, like say you put an Overlord here and just drop some creep real quick, and you can jump that down. And now some Mutalisks coming in. We're going to see what they're going to be able to do as we see the extended thermal lance coming down, as well as the +1 level, the +1 weapons for MouzMana. So Mutalisks coming in. Don't attack that assimilator, attack the probes. There we go. He's attacking the probes now. Stalker's going to come in, going to be able to drive off these Mutalisks for now. But 4 more Mutalisks are on their way, and that attack upgrade is about to be done very soon. Probably going to start saturating this gold base, and I'd like to see him start getting upgrades as well. That's going to be very useful. Stay on top of your macro. Stay on top of your macro. He's clicking them, but he's not spitting with them.